So it looks like technology continues to improve. Does that mean that medical care will improve?
That is the question. We're bringing in medical expert, ER physician, and founder and CEO of Diamond Physicians in Dallas. Dr. James joins us this morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
All right. So technology, a blessing and a curse, especially if you find yourself not feeling so great. You can get online and figure out you're going to, you have some kind of deathly illness within about 15 seconds. But, other than going to the doctor for advice online or at least a medical website, now we're learning that telemedicine could be the whole new house call here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I believe telemedicine is the future of healthcare, and we have to develop new modalities for healthcare delivery because access to physicians is decreasing. So telemedicine breaks down those barriers so that you can have instant access to your doctor.
Do you think part of this is a function of the current generation, the millennials, who often seek technology and want that quicker response? And with this particular type of technology, this helps deliver that pretty much in almost like a convenience store 24/7 way. In fact, is there an app? Is there something like an app for this even?
Yeah, absolutely. Technology is integrated into our society so much now. It's just the natural progression of healthcare to utilize the current platforms that we have available. And there's lots of apps out there. My company, Diamond Physicians, is actually developing our own app as well that will launch in the next 3 to 4 months. But you can log on to these apps, submit your credit card information, and actually find a doctor who will see you within minutes. And it's a beautiful technology. It really, again, is knocking down barriers to care. So we want to be as efficient as possible so you can now access your doctor anywhere.
Now, Jim and I were talking about the difference between, being face-to-face in real time, real person with your doctor as opposed to being a screen to screen. I mean, I at some point, I suppose you'd be able to take somebody's vitals and then send them from one location to the other with these apps and such. But how does that make it more difficult for a physician to diagnose somebody when they can't touch and hear and all of the, they can hear, but can't touch the actual patient they're dealing with?
Certain ailments are difficult to diagnose over the phone or video conference, such as abdominal pain. I need to touch the patient. I need to put my hands on the patient. If you have a musculoskeletal injury, then those are also hard to diagnose. But most things, cough, cold, sinus infections, even strep throat with kids, I can diagnose via telemedicine, and it's a wonderful modality because it's so efficient. So I've had a mom who their daughter gets strep throat twice a year. So they actually will take a picture of the throat, send it to me, and I'll ask some simple questions. So we're still practicing evidence-based medicine, and I can make the diagnosis over the phone, send the prescription to the pharmacy, and they can go straight to the pharmacy and pick up the medication.
It is funny, too. The more you parent, the more you know what your kid is diagnosed with. You can pretty much guess it's a sinus infection or if it's strep throat. You can start to get a pretty good handle on it, not even having a medical degree.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And a lot of times the parents will know what's going on first. So you can instantly get a hold of your doctor. You don't have to take time off work. You don't have to pull the kids from school if it's something minor. Again, it's just so efficient, and I believe it is the future of healthcare.
Can you talk a little bit about the risks on the doctor's end of this? Because there is it's in 2 dimensions instead of 3. Are there some risk factors for doctors in diagnosing? There's some liability issues?
Yeah, that's a great point. Most apps, you're going to see a different doctor every time you call in. And there is some liability with that because that physician or that nurse practitioner or physician assistant doesn't know the patient very well. You might not know all the allergies. You might not review all the medications and history. Now, with our app, Dr. Link, we actually have the same provider seeing the patient every time. So it's kind of like a concierge telemedicine platform so that we have less liability. So that's a great point.
Well, that's very interesting. So this is something that we'll watch and see as these apps develop and as medicine progresses. There's good and bad. And I guess the other thing that doctors are having to deal with now is getting everything inputted electronically for all the files. And I was reading a story or hearing a story the other day talking about that's one curse, I guess, of technology for a lot of physicians right now.
Yeah, there's so many different electronic medical record systems out there. There's no universal system, so you kind of have to have everything integrated and connected. So that is challenging, but I think one day these transitions will be much more smooth. We can connect, get medical records very easily and seamlessly so that we can deliver outstanding care.
Well, very interesting. That's something interesting to talk about today.
Something you may even want to add to your app if you don't already have it is maybe adding a prescription taking reminder for somebody. They entered the time they took the medicine, and then based upon how you prescribed it, then get a little ding on their phone. It's like, okay, time to take your pill again. Just a thought.
That idea. I'm going to put that in phase 1 for you.
There you go. Come to us for ideas. Tim's full of them.
Yeah, I'm full of something anyway, doctor. We could talk about that on my next annual physical. Anyway, Dr. James, thank you for joining us on Memphis Morning News. He's an ER physician, medical expert, and founder and CEO of Diamond Physicians, and talking about maybe, these apps and Skype, not a bad thing after all.
Well, it certainly takes the nurse's triage line to a whole nother level, because when you have a sick kid, you sit there and talk through it with the nurse, and then they usually make an appointment to see the doctor. But, maybe you go from the phone triage to a Skype call. And for I think he may be correct. For some things, it might be okay, but there's going to be some people that want to go see their doctor and need to for many things. So it'll be curious to see how this works into the whole system.
Yeah, absolutely. 7:52 from the latest.